Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. I am your host, Eddie V, the one and only. And of course, I got me with my co host, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hello, that was not the intro I was expecting.
I know, because
It threw me
everybody, everybody, this is a holiday edition of Expansion Pass.
Yeah,
Right.
I thought you were gonna introduce it like normal, and it threw me off.
Well, it's been a long time since we actually got to do an expansion pass, and depending on when you guys watching this, it may be Christmas, maybe the day after Christmas, but we are here together to recommend some games for those who got a Nintendo Switch 2. Now, me and Corey are very experienced. Of course, our Boss Rush crew is also experienced. Because for a lot of us, we picked up the system when the game released. And so there are games that are exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2 and some games that you can play on Switch 1 and Switch 2, but also some games that you can update if you own the Switch version. And update it to the Switch 2 version, where you'll get some improved quality of life and some additional DLC for some of these games. And so we just got some recommendations for you guys if you are looking for games to play on your system.
Yeah, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, because I've actually had this question asked to me from people who aren't like super gamers or whatever, right? But the Switch 2 is backwards compatible with the Switch 1 for the most part. They're kind of working through a small list of games that have issues working on the Switch 1, right? But
yes,
for the most part, they are working through those and updating as they go. And there are great sites like Nintendo Life who updates which games are working, which ones are not. Nintendo Everything does a great job of that too. I think there is a list on Nintendo's website, but who has the time to navigate that dumpster fire of a website? So,
and everybody, if you go once you get your Switch 2, if you have set everything up and you go to the Nintendo eShop, they also have a list of all the games and updated versions that you could purchase, or even pre-order for some. So yeah. So if you're looking for a lot of these games, Nintendo made it easier to go to the Switch 2 era and get it. Ooh, dang! Cyberpunk is only $17.49. That's a great deal.
I know, and it's like for the next 2 weeks. So, yeah, I mean, we should probably start with the free updates or like the unofficial, like, I don't really know how to explain it essentially, but like there are Switch 1 games that just take advantage of the hardware. They're not like paid upgrades. They're more of like Nintendo's kind of free updates. They don't really have Switch 2 versions, quote unquote, but they have updates that make them run much better and look better on the Switch 2.
Yes.
But before we do that, Ed, we've had the Switch 2 for about 6 months now.
Yes.
Can't believe we've had this thing for 6 months now. It's amazing. I mean, how are you feeling about it 6 months in so far? I mean, I know we did it. I know we had a Nintendo Pow Block episode on this, and
yes,
we kind of talked about what we liked and things, but how are you really liking it?
I'm loving it. Just playing some of the indie games, playing Nintendo's first party games. The Pro Controller is outstanding. It feels so good. It really has taken a lot of my time away from the Series X. I travel with my Switch to work. I have took it on the train with me, and I'm just having a ball. Some of the games that's been on previous systems that I played on Switch 2, it feels better with the Pro Controller. I like the mouse mode, even though I haven't really used a lot of the mouse portions of it, like with the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons feel good, and everything. So I'm loving this, and then to see that third party is really supporting this system. If anyone has watched the Game Awards, Pragmata from Capcom is coming, and Capcom probably is going to bring more Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws have been very positive for Ubisoft, and maybe even helps with some sales. Like,
well, I don't know if you saw that for those games specifically, Ubisoft went to Nintendo and asked them to, I don't want to say borrow engineers, but like work with their engineers to make sure that they could get their engines running on the Switch too. Like from like a native standpoint, not like we're going to port down after we're done type thing, but like, really natively use Snowdrop and Anvil, which are kind of their two main engines. Snowdrop is Massive's engine that they run the Division and Star Wars Outlaws on, and then Assassin's Creed and For Honor run on Anvil. So
I didn't even think about the Division could be on Switch, like the Division 2.
Dude, that game just got a massive update, by the way.
Dude, I will rebuy that game on Switch too.
Like out of nowhere, it just got an update. I feel like, how sometimes we talk about like games that we wonder if they're doing well or not. But then you find out later that they sell like 30 or 40 million copies. I think that Ghost Recon was like that for not the most current one, but the last one, Wildlands, I think it was.
Wildlands
sold like 40 million copies, and you're like, what? Where did that come from? And then like the Division still has a very dedicated player base, and I tell you what, man, I know people like to poo-poo on Ubisoft all the time, right? Like, in some cases, rightly so, right? But like, they sure have some dedicated fans. I mean, the fact that For Honor is still going like blows my mind.
Yeah,
they just had I think they just had some sort of Final Fantasy crossover or something.
I think so. Yeah.
Was like what?
16? I think 16. They did. Yeah.
And but I'm obviously like Rainbow Six Siege is still going. The Division. Yeah. I think Ghost Recon Breakpoint is still kind of going a little bit, which is essentially the Division in the jungle.
Yeah, they had because they had to redo Breakpoint. They had to fix that game.
Yeah, they totally tore that game down to the bones and rebuilt it essentially because they tried to do the Division thing and it just didn't work for that style of game, right? Especially with how Wildlands worked. Here we go on a tangent again about nothing. It has to do with Nintendo, but it's fine.
But dude, with the possibility, I'm like with the sales success, and don't forget this is expansion pass, so this could always happen. With the sales success of hopefully with Star Wars and Assassin's Creed, and people picking it up, the Division 2 could be that live service that works on Switch very well. That proves is concept that on this live service game can work. In fact, here's the main game of the Division 2 with some updates, some upgrades. Here go all the DLC, and then if we put out future DLC, if you guys want it, you could pay for it. I think folks would be like, okay, let's play this and see how it works, and then taking it on the go. Because I'm like, well, the one problem would be that it needs to be online because it's an online service game. But if they give an offline campaign portion,
not offline.
I know. No, but I'm just like, if there was a way to carry the game and make it offline, even though it'll be single player and stuff, that I wish that would be something that would be cool. Other than that, I know that, if you take it, you can't play the game until you get somewhere that has an online functionality. But if you do, and you get your system connected and you can continue on, because that's what everybody wants to see. Just like, how would you do it on the go? Can you play this on the go? That's just not inside your house. But is there a edition where it is just a single player, and if you want to do co-op or local co-op, I don't know if it would still need, if it did like the DS thing, if I met you, you met me, we want to do a Pokemon battle, our DSs read each other and connect and go.
Yeah,
I
like an ad
wonder.
hoc thing, the way that the Vita used to do.
Yes, so I wonder if something like that could work on a go-to basis. Like if you guys are on the train, once again, I'm using the train because like that's kind of like almost the best way to pass time. If you got like an hour or so trip, playing the game on there, time go, could flow. If you could all play on the train or something and have that kind of co-op play, without having the internet, I wonder if that could happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I do feel like the Switch needs, not like it doesn't need it, but I feel like it would be a good home for certain games, especially if there's cross progression, right? Because like that's like a big thing for why Fortnite, I think, on the Switch 2 is so successful. I mean, it's successful everywhere, but
yeah.
And stuff like Apex Legends and Overwatch, it's all cross progression, right? Like you can play handheld mode on Switch, but then like, oh, I can go over to my PC and play, or I can go play on my Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, and all my stuff is there. And so like, I think something like I think Marvel Rivals is getting a PS4 and Xbox One version. I guarantee you that game's coming to Switch at some point. I know Destiny will never come to Switch or Switch 2, but I do think if Destiny Rising is successful, which is the mobile game,
Yeah.
I do think that might make its way over to Switch 2 at some point if it's successful. With like the what's that other one?
I was actually going to ask you a different question, but it's still this with Bungie. Could out of the blue, maybe down the line, Marathon show on Switch 2? I'm just asking, but because just like,
the thing is, Bungie leadership said, well, I mean, this was old leadership, so who knows where they're going now, but they said they have no interest in bringing anything to Nintendo platforms because of just, which I understand in a way, right? But like, I also like Destiny. Yeah, I would play the crap out of it on Switch 2 to grind out stuff and but it's not gonna happen, unfortunately. So, but I could see, I don't know, I could see like Helldivers coming over at some point, or
because if Helldivers come and shows great success, definitely sales wise, because money does talk to Sony in a good way. That's gonna make Bungie look crazy to be like, okay,
it's ultimately a Sony decision now, though, right? I mean, it's a Sony decision now, because Sony is running Bungie now. Like that independent side thing is over.
Yeah, because the reason I asked that, because that would be like one of the explosive. I would say it would be one of the explosive Nintendo Direct surprises that would get everybody talking. But you just see that mug get a summer reveal. Just for some, because like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we need to spend time on that just because this is an expansion pass with a, like, I just feel like there's essentially, like you brought up Cyberpunk, there is a big possibility that the Switch 2 is going to get almost everything, if not everything, the other two consoles are going to get now, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like third-party stuff and whatever Xbox is doing, right? I mean, Xbox has 3 titles coming over now, and so far, and Sony has been dabbling and bringing stuff over, right, with Horizon or Lego Horizon, and I would, we were talking, what was it, you and me, or was it me and Laurent, about what if the classic God of War collection came over or something. We were talking about PS3 emulation, I think.
We were talking. I know we did talk about PS3 at a point, because we started talking about what if Uncharted, because I wanted like Resistance to show up on Switch.
Yeah,
and I know you mentioned Uncharted.
Must have been on one of these recent Pow Block episodes, but you know, like essentially, Nintendo's the Switch is essentially powerful enough to get these games right. If they're optimizing for the Series S at the moment, right? Like they're going to be optimizing for Switch 2 and the Steam Deck, right? Because the Switch 2 is more powerful than both of them, as we've seen.
Yeah, and the Steam Deck is going to come to a close because they stopped production on it.
No, they didn't. It was one model out of the 6 that they sell.
Oh, okay.
Stop production on the Steam Deck. Come on, Ed.
Everybody was talking about the OLED one or one of them.
No, it's the LCD one they were talking about.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I just think in the future, you know, for people who have just got a Switch 2, because it really is a good time to have a Switch 2 right now, because you got the whole Switch generation of games to pick from, and then you got the new games that are exclusive to Switch 2 that only released on that system. But I'm like, you're going into the year, next year with a bunch of, I mean, there's going to be some ports, but a bunch of brand new games. You have now a whole year compared to the 6 months that the Switch 2 has been out. So you have from January to next December for a range of games to come out, surprise announcements, and like people who get in a Switch 2. If you're looking for a January, Final Fantasy VII Integrate is going to be a big one. The demo was out and it's only been good reception. So that's guaranteed money for a Square Enix. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Video games.
Exactly. But
yeah, but anyways, like we were talking, like third-party games, like, you know, Resident Evil's coming, which is great. Cyberpunk runs super well. Street Fighter 6 is really great on the Switch, right? Like it seems like Capcom and Square Enix specific. You brought up Square Enix already, but you know, it seems like they are really dedicated to the Switch 2 at this point, where I mean, Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9 are all coming out on the same day in a bundle with 9 on the Switch 2, right? In a collection. I think you can get all 3 games for $90 or something, right? That's how much it costs. So it's just like, I don't know. That's an amazing deal, but I like seeing. It's been a long time since we got games that were on par with the other consoles. Since the GameCube, essentially, you know, the Wii U got some games, but like. It came out a year before the Xbox One and the PS4, so like it was getting old 360 ports, you know, of like, and don't get me wrong, I liked Batman on the Wii U and Assassin's Creed and several other games, but it's just like, this is the first time that we are going to get, I mean, we're getting Pragmata day one, which is huge.
Yeah.
You know, which is, you know, obviously a couple other things are coming that I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but like, it's just nice to see these games coexist on the same platform. And I finally feel like Nintendo can be like a all-in console for me at this point. It's so funny too. I don't know if you've gone into third-party games or not, Ed, and they have achievement systems within the game because obviously the achievement systems are already done for the other consoles. So they just throw it into the game, like in-game achievements, essentially.
I've been playing Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. See if achievements popping up, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with just the in-game achievements.
No, give me a sticker book like we talked about with the Wii U in 2016.
Because everybody was just like the 3D Super Mario 3D World had the great idea with doing the sticker thing.
Zelda did it too. Twilight Princess HD did it too. The stamps.
Yeah. Oh, that is true.
But
I would be down for a stamp book stamps
Yeah, and then like you could like, man, this is we got to move on. There's a whole thing here I could go into right now of like Nintendo should have kept Miitomo going and had this stamp collection thing going, and you could decorate your social media page with, you know, your Miitomo social media page with the stickers, and then you could play the Nintendo music soundtrack in your like house or whatever, and have your own like Instagram style thing with Nintendo today. It's like, but we can do that later.
Hold on, Corey. Hold on, Corey.
What?
Should we do a special expansion pass on that title?
We'll do it.
We'll do it.
We'll do it later.
2026.
We'll do it later. Right now, we got to talk about games. So we're 20 minutes in. We promised the audience we would talk about games, and we have not talked about a single game.
Look, I'm sorry, everybody. When we get into expansion pass and we start having these discussions, it leads to like more discussions and topics for other shows. So, 2026, we'll have that discussion, everybody. But Corey, you did mention free updates. Do you have a list of games?
I do have a full list of games of Nintendo published games that have received free updates for Nintendo Switch 2. So if you own these on Switch 1, or you're looking to maybe go back and you missed some of these games, these are the games that run. Let's see. This is from Nintendo's official website. It says free updates to enhance the gameplay experience on the Nintendo Switch 2 system will be released for select Nintendo Switch games. By connecting your Nintendo Switch 2 to the internet and performing a system update, you can download free updates for selected games that may improve graphics and add support for features such as Game Share. The contents of these free updates will differ depending on the game. I'm just going to go. I think the list is in alphabetical order here, so we're just going to go down the list. And some of these games also have demos, which is great. So if you want to try them out before you buy them. So ARMS got a free update. Optimized visuals for Switch 2 and high resolution TVs with improved image quality. Frame rate optimized for Switch 2 for smoother movement, even when playing with 3 or more players. And HDR, there is now HDR support on the Switch 2. There's a demo for ARMS, so if you want to try it out, ARMS is a really fun game.
Yes,
it's really much better when you're playing with someone else with the Joy-Con specifically. So, I think it's worth noting too. We really like the Porting House Panic Button, and Panic Button did most of the heavy lifting on these ports for Nintendo.
Shout out to them.
So it's worth mentioning that. But yeah, ARMS, that's your updates for ARMS. Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain, had up to 4 people can play in a party mode now and share locally or share online via game chat. There's a demo for this too. It's essentially, if you remember the DS game Brain Age, it's essentially that. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, free update. Also, it's worth noting that there is DLC for this game that's like $5, and it's worth every penny. This game is amazing. Captain Toad is secretly one of the best Switch games or Wii U games that made it over to Switch. By the way, it's amazing. The visuals have been optimized for Switch 2, high resolution TVs with improved image quality. Also has HDR support. Two people can play all of the courses. So all the courses are 2-player. So that's great. There's a demo for Captain Toad as well, which just buy the game. You will thank us later. Buy Captain Toad if you haven't already.
I think it's still $40. It might be 40 or 50.
It's $39.99 and the DLC is $5. So $45 for like this really fun, interesting puzzle game. Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics also got an update. Up to 4 people can play 34 of the games now, and you can share locally via share online via game chat. Game Builder Garage got an update. It's been visually optimized for Switch 2 and supports Joy-Con 2 mouse controls now. So that's great. Game Builder Garage is essentially my first coding. You're coding video games within this app, so it's pretty neat. Especially if you have a kid that's interested in game design, it teaches you the basics essentially without learning code. Or I think you can use code in this at some point, but like it's very basic. Like, I mean, it's Nintendo. They're trying to teach you how to do it the right way, essentially. So,
right.
New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe has been optimized and visually optimized for Switch 2. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet both have been optimized for Switch 2 display. Increased frame rate, improved and smoother movement on Nintendo Switch 2, which was the big complaint about those games when they came out on Switch 1. I've heard from several people that, hey, it works now. So, anyways, even the broken game still sold about 17 million copies. So, Splatoon 3, this app update might be the most noticeable on everything. Visuals optimized for Switch 2 with high resolution and improved image quality. This game looks outstanding. My kids have been showing interest in Splatoon recently, because obviously you're shooting paint and you can like swim, and the squid kids are cute and they are just, you can dress them up any way you want, right? It's like a whole thing for them. But the big thing is it's really optimized the frame rate for both the Plaza, which runs at 60 frames a second now instead of 30. And then it runs really smooth. It doesn't say here. I think they improved the frame rate to 120 in competitive mode.
Ooh,
so
interesting.
I also think they added mouse controls to this. I'm not positive. I think I saw that somewhere. Because there was another update for Splatoon 3 recently that yeah, I don't know. Splatoon 3 though, it's a great game. I recommend it. It's really fun.
Yeah, it is.
Excuse me. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury has been visually optimized, frame rate optimized. Bowser's Fury now runs at a smooth 60 frames a second. So up to 4 people can play Super Mario 3D World through Game Share, which you can share the game to Switch and Switch 2 players, which is nice. This is kind of like that old DS Game Boy Advance type thing where, right, if you had one copy of the game, like your friends could play with you, right? So that's kind of what's going on with this also. In Bowser's Fury, 2 people can play together, with one controlling Mario and the other controlling Bowser Jr. So that's really cool. And then Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 have been visually optimized for Switch 2. Also supports mouse controls for the star kind of thing where you pick up the bits, star bits. Mario Odyssey visually optimized for Switch 2, HDR support. So two people can play together via Game Share. One player controlling Mario and the other controlling Cappy. So someone on another console can control Cappy while you play as Mario. And then both Echoes of Wisdom, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening have free updates with optimized visuals for Switch 2 and improved image quality and improved frame rates. So you don't get that stutter when you come out of dungeons, moving from 30 to 60 as the game smooths itself out and loads up. So those are the games with free updates. And let me tell you, a lot of those are on sale right now. Nintendo announced their big first party sale that starts today or tomorrow or whenever for the next couple weeks. So Princess Peach Showtime I saw was on sale for $40, I think. So it is worth going back to these games, especially if you are interested in let's say you got a Switch 2 and you're interested in Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think it's worth checking out Mario Odyssey because it's the same development team. A lot of Odyssey DNA in there, I feel like. Obviously, this team loves Pauline for some reason. But, and then, all the 2 Zelda games with free updates and everything else. So I don't know. What are the 2 or 3 games you would recommend from this list, Ed?
Definitely Splatoon. Definitely ARMS. I would recommend, of course, Captain Toad. Like that needs to be in the library because I'm like, even though it's a puzzle game and it's not too much action that you do it good 2 to 3 levels per night and everything. It really helps the brain think. And you feel good and it's funny at the parts at times and stuff. You probably would get like a good 8 hours out of it, and then with the additional content, that's probably a little bit, maybe 3 or 4 more hours.
Especially if you get especially if you try to go for all of the green stars in each level.
Yeah,
that's a huge challenge.
Yeah, so so if you definitely those 3, of course with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, if you're an NSO member, you get that free upgrade if you have those games. So that's a great benefit, and trust me, going through Breath of the Wild and Tears at 60 frames per second is buttery smooth. It like the games already look gorgeous. They're already fun to play, but you don't realize how smooth it feels when you jump from 30 frames to the 60 frames, like locked. And it just feels amazing. Like you would end up being like, I'm about to spend hours upon this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like, Mario 3D World has more Captain Toad levels in it too, which is like kind of where the game originated, were these little side things in Mario 3D World, and then they made a whole game out of it.
And for 3D World's another one that is a must. Trust me, the level design, the boss fights, playing with the cat powers, there's so much in that game. It's one of the best Wii U games. On Wii U and on this console, or like on Switch, and then with this update version, like it's still to me a perfect 10. Like it's one in my top 3 games of Mario games for platformers.
Yeah.
Like it really is up there. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like the 2D stuff. I like Mario Odyssey and everything, but 3D World, man, that game is just top tier fire.
Yeah, 3D World is it's really great, and I feel like more people should be playing that essentially. So all right, Ed, well, why don't we move on to the Switch 1 games with Switch 2 paid upgrades. There aren't too many right now. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have a $10 upgrade. It's also worth noting that if you are an NSO member at any tier, right? I think it's either tier, right? The $20 or the $50 one, you get the update for free, which is nice. Obviously, you can also just buy it natively to the console, but the Switch 2 versions offer, HDR. They've updated the lighting. I'm not sure if it's ray traced or not, but they have definitely updated the lighting in that game.
Yeah.
60 frames a second, 4K. They have the Zelda Notes feature on your phone, so you can kind of like, it's almost like half strategy guide, half I'm going to take notes because I've been here and I need to make a note here. Obviously, you still have the in-game map that you can mark places, but Zelda Notes is a little bit more in depth. So, Mario Party Jamboree TV is the update for Super Mario Party Jamboree. It's $20. It's a $20 update. So buying it natively on the Switch 2 is going to be $80, but they add 4 more boards to the normal Mario Party mode. They add quite a few mini games. They essentially added a whole nother Mario Party game within this Mario Party. They added the roller coaster mode, the if you have the Switch 2 camera, you can add your face to the the party, so like it gets your reactions when you win a mini game or whatever, or lose. And yeah, I think it's a really great update. My kids love it. We play a lot of Mario Party in this house, a lot more than I planned. we played again this weekend, actually, after Hanukkah stuff. We played a little bit, and my kids love Mario Party. So but yeah, I mean, it is $80, right? But if you already own it, it's a $20 update.
Yeah,
you can probably find Mario Party, the Switch 1 version of Mario Party, if you're a physical collector, relatively cheap on eBay, like $30, I think, and then pay the $20 for the update. That also works. But yeah, Mario Party's great. Kirby in the Forgotten Land, there's a $20 update for that as well, but there's a full expansion to that you can only play on Switch 2. So that's worth noting. A lot of people really love that platformer. It's kind of like it's definitely not as hard as Mario is, right? But it's definitely a different take on Kirby. I feel like it's the first. Wasn't this the first Kirby 3D platformer since ever?
Yeah.
It's cute. It's charming.
Great level design, great music. The final, not to spoil anything, but when you get to that final battle, it's going to be not only hilarious, but one of the best boss battles Nintendo has ever made in the game.
Yeah. So people love it. I think that as much garbage as I give Kirby, I think that Kirby is a real quote unquote video game. So,
yes.
So yeah, I think that's definitely something that you should look into. Oh my gosh, why isn't this loading? Okay. Let's see here. Pokemon Legends ZA. There's a Switch 2 edition, obviously a Switch 1 edition. So if you already, I'm sure a lot of people got Pokemon at some point, either, the various holidays that are happening right now. So if you get a Switch 2, there is a $10 upgrade for Switch 2. But yeah, I mean, it makes it run nicer, look nicer. Yeah, that's that. There's nothing really different about the game except that it looks nicer and runs better, right? So,
yes.
And then also the same for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. This is technically a Switch 1 game, but it does have a Switch 2 edition, which adds the mouse support for the Joy-Con 2 controllers. It runs at 4K 60 on Switch 2 on TV or 1080p 120. So it does do some dynamic resolution in the 4K mode. Like your HUD is always 4K, but it does jump between 4K and 1440p in the environment, depending on where you're at and what you're doing. But it still looks really, really nice.
And to be honest with you, Corey, there's times that you barely can tell if the graphics or anything changes. Like you barely could. Like everything is so seamless, smooth.
Yeah, so I would say that is definitely worth getting the Switch 2 version of. It is $10 more, but I think you're going to get a lot more out of that visually and response time and everything else. Like, don't get me wrong, the Switch 2 version is, there's a Digital Foundry video out there that kind of breaks down the Switch 2 and the Switch version. But in my opinion, the Switch 2 version is the way to go. But those are the Nintendo Switch games that have paid upgrades. So if you own any of them already, you can spend a little bit of money to make them a little bit prettier, get some extra content, that sort of thing.
Yes.
But yeah, I think Nintendo's doing this the right way, right? Like, I know people complain about paying for things all the time, but this is the same thing that PlayStation did, right, with their first party games. $10 upgrade. You get the newer, prettier version that runs better, maybe a little bit of extra content here and there. But yeah, I think it's worth that. I think it's also worth noting that when you do upgrade to the Switch 2 version of Zelda, Breath of the Wild specifically, the DLC does not come with the upgrade. So you will have to pay another $20 for that DLC, which, may or may not be worth it to you. But
yeah, because I don't think they updated the DLC.
Visually they did.
Originally? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if they did anything for the DLC.
Yeah, I mean, the DLC is all part of, like,
and that's the Champions DLC for Breath of the Wild, because Tears of the Kingdom don't have no DLC.
No. So I think it is worth noting that Metroid has amiibo that work, that game specific amiibo that you can buy. Zelda obviously has a ton of amiibo. Definitely worth looking for that Wolf Link amiibo for Breath of the Wild, in my opinion. Even if you're not an amiibo person, you can buy a stack of Zelda cards on eBay or whatever for like $10, and they give you like resources and supplies and weapons and shields, and the game specific ones give you the armor from those games, or the tunics from those games. So if you like Ocarina, you can buy the Ocarina of Time ones and get those. If you buy the Majora's Mask one, you could find Majora's Mask in there. I wear the Twilight Princess tunic a lot. So, but the Wolf Link gives you, the Wolf Link amiibo gives you the Wolf Companion. And usually when they sell the cards, they do sell you a $20 heart or a 20 heart wolf with it, right? Because like the standard wolf amiibo comes with 6 hearts, I think. But if you played Twilight Princess HD on Wii U, you could add hearts to the wolf amiibo, and those hearts would carry over to Breath of the Wild, so you could have up to 20 hearts on your wolf. I think mine has 19 because I never finished the dungeon, like the 50 floor dungeon or whatever. But yeah, you can definitely find the cards relatively easily. The amiibo, I think Nintendo just reprinted a bunch of amiibo, so you can look on their website and look for those. But
yeah.
By the way, did you see the Street Fighter amiibo were $6 a piece at Best Buy this weekend?
No.
The new ones, the $40 ones, are $6 a piece.
Then they must have a lot that they're trying to get rid of. Then,
well, yeah, they're $40 for Street Fighter characters. Like, no one knows because they're the new characters. They're not even the characters people know. No Blanca amiibo, but we have Kimberly.
I think it's a Kimberly from Street Fighter 3 Alpha.
Whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares. I do. So yeah, I think amiibo are worth getting for these games. I think it makes the games a little bit more viable for people who maybe never played them before and need resources. Like, resource management is extremely difficult in Breath of the Wild if you don't have these amiibo, especially right away. So, but yeah, those are the Nintendo games with upgrade paths. There are third-party games with upgrade paths. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. A lot of the indie games have free updates, like Hades 2 and Silk Song, and those types of games. I think Square Enix's games have free updates too. At least the smaller ones, like Octopath Traveler. Zero definitely does have a free one, and Final Fantasy Tactics is free. So,
and they're always updating. Something's going to get a update like almost every week or every 2 weeks. So if you guys want to keep up with that, you gotta keep up with that information.
Yeah, Plants vs. Zombies is free, which is kind of surprising because it's an EA game. But there's something else that was the Trails that Trails remake is $1 to upgrade, which is like weird. It's $1, but whatever. And then the Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate game, that update is $5. So just to throw a couple extra ones out there that you may or may not be interested in that have free updates. Oh, it is also worth noting that if you're an Animal Crossing person, that Animal Crossing New Horizons is getting a Switch 2 edition upgrade. That's $4.99 in January.
Yes.
I knew I was forgetting one. It's not even on Nintendo's website, by the way.
Oh, it'll probably be on next month.
It will when it comes out, but it's just like it should be here already. So, but Ed, I think we should probably recommend a couple Switch 2 games. It can be first or third party. I wanted to make sure people knew about the upgrades that first party games had. Because, to be honest, a lot of people buy Nintendo consoles for Nintendo games. So,
yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention, Red Dead Redemption also has a free Switch 2 edition. I knew there was like a major third-party game I was forgetting.
Yeah, because Red Dead,
I bought it because it's $20 right now.
That's the first game. Because I think the second game's not out yet.
No,
but I know it's coming.
It's like the worst kept secret that it's getting a Switch 2 version and then like the next gen console updates or whatever, right? So whatever. It's because they keep delaying GTA and they need to make that money up somehow, so they got to sell these remasters, which is fine. Like I really like Red Dead Redemption 1. So. Oh yeah, I forgot. Hogwarts Legacy has a $10 update. So if you own it for Switch for some reason, you can get the update for $10.
Yeah. I think that was like one of the first ones, I think.
It was the first third-party game to announce they were having an upgrade path.
Okay.
So, which was nice because I owned it and now I own it for Switch 2, which is a really nice version of the game. It runs at 1080p, somewhere between 40 and 50 frames a second. The Switch 2 version comes with a free mount, so you can get that, obviously. Anyways, I know a lot of people really love Hogwarts Legacy, as do I. So, anyways, let's Ed, I'm going to let you go first. A recommendation for these Switch 2. I don't care how many we do. We can probably do like between 3 and 5 each.
Okay.
We don't care how long we go.
So I kind of broke it up in 2 section stories. I have one that are switched.
Leave it to Ed to break a simple process into 2 sections.
No, I have a Switch 2 exclusive edition, and then I have games that you can play on both systems. And the reason why is just like in case of people didn't get a Switch 2, but they have a Switch, there are some games that you can still play on both systems.
We probably should have mentioned that at the top, right? Where like if you bought, so like certain Nintendo Switch 2 edition games, especially party, will have the Switch 1 version of the game on the cartridge with the Switch 2 upgrade pack. So like you can technically play that cartridge in your Switch 1, right? If you haven't gotten a Switch 2 yet and you want to play Metroid Prime 4, you can buy the Switch 2 edition and play it in your Switch 1. And then you get your Switch 2, you can pop it in and have the Switch 2 edition.
Yes.
Same with all the game, any Nintendo first party game, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, besides the ones that's only Switch 2 exclusive,
right?
All the other ones, I believe you can.
Yeah, this Nintendo published games that have Switch 1 versions and Switch 2 versions.
Yes.
Yeah. That made sense.
So
Sorry, that was complicated.
so I'm just gonna run through that list real quick, Corey, because I only got like 10 games. Shinobi Art
Only
of
10
Vengeance.
games.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Metro Prime 4 Beyond, Absolute, Marvel Comics Avengers, Blade Chimera, Hollow Knight Silksong, Scourge Hive, Octopath Travelers 0, 1, and 2, and then Hades 2. So those are games that you can play on both systems. Because they have like some of them have additions that is Switch 2, and some of them have additions that's Switch 1, but you can play them on Switch 2. So like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is only for Switch. No, it's for both systems.
There's
for
two
both
different
systems.
SKUs in the store.
Yeah.
So
but like something like Absolute, it's a Switch 1 game, but you can play it on Switch 2, and it's digital for right now, but you can probably find the physical. So that's my list for that one. So the 5 games that I have, I'm gonna say my last one because me and you probably have it both on our list. I'm gonna start with number 5, Assassin's Creed Shadows. That one just recently dropped. The game, it got good scores. It looks beautiful. It's a big open world. It takes place in feudal Japan, and if you're looking for open world games, that's going to keep you busy, or even if it's like, you got a game that you probably already beat on Switch 2 and you want something that's going to take you a really long time, because Ubisoft games do give you a lot of content. That, if you want to try to beat that 100%, it's going to take you a long time. Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be that game, and you get 2 protagonists, with 2 different story campaigns, so different styles of play. So definitely, I would say Assassin's Creed Shadows. And plus, that's a brand new game for Switch 2. It is on other platforms, but I'm like, the reviews for it has been good. I think Digital Foundry might have did a review for it, but like, it's a really great game to have on for your Switch 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same route as you, Ed. I'm going to recommend Star Wars Outlaws for Switch 2.
That was on my list too. Yeah.
It's definitely a really great Star Wars game. It runs at a really good, solid 30 frames a second. I would recommend turning off like the film grain and the motion blur and stuff, because that kind of slows it down a little bit, but if you turn it off, it makes it run smoother, in my opinion. It's really fun. It's really a solid kind of stealth action game. It's got a great story. It's just a really great game that I feel like was severely underlooked. It's also cheaper on Switch 2 than in the other consoles. The Gold Edition, it comes with the DLC and everything, is $60. The base version is $40. So I would definitely highly recommend that if you are into, even if you're not into Star Wars, if you're just into like third person kind of light stealth cover based shooters, right? I would highly recommend that. I think it's a really outstanding game. Also, the first Nintendo Switch game outside of Nintendo confirmed to have ray tracing. So the entire game is ray traced. So I also recommend watching the Digital Foundry video about this game. It's a little bit nicer looking than the Series S version in terms of character models and lighting and everything. There are some things that I have noticed against the other 2 versions, like certain canopy type textures are missing, and they did remove a couple, like some things that you would never notice, right? Just to help make the game run better. And but it's still like a really fascinating. This was the first game on the Switch 2 I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is running on Switch, right? Like, I just can't believe it. Like Cyberpunk, I was like, oh man, this looks great on Switch, but it has an Xbox One and PS4 version, technically, sort of.
Yeah.
in quotes. So like I did expect it to run on this in some sort of way, right? But like this is Star Wars Outlaws is like it's made by Massive. It's the Division team. So like
Yeah.
Great game, highly recommended. It's $40. Going back to Assassin's Creed Shadows too, Ed, it's worth noting that Assassin's Creed Shadows is $10 cheaper on Switch 2 than it is on the other consoles. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, that's my
I think
number one.
Yeah, and I think both games did really good in sales because like people were posting pictures like all weekend saying that they got it. So
yeah, and Ubisoft said they were really happy with Assassin's Creed's initial sales on Switch 2. So
yeah,
and like we were talking about either at the top of the show before we started recording, I can't remember at this point, but like Ubisoft went to Nintendo and had Nintendo engineers help them kind of optimize their engine for the Switch 2, and like this is what works, this is what doesn't. It is worth noting that the Ubisoft games are game key cards if you're a physical collector, which I don't think we need to spend time on that right now, but if you don't know what the key card system is, there are several videos out there I'm sure you can find that explains it, but essentially like it's anyways, don't need to go into it, but yeah, that's my number 5, Ed.
okay. So my number 4 is Cyberpunk 2077. That one is just amazing game. And it's good that if you want to play the full edition, because you get the DLC also with this game, with the main game. And people, if you have been following video game news, that game had a troubled history after its release. It's just all the stories, and they had to, like, for PlayStation Network, they took it off the PSN so people couldn't download it. At one point, they put it $10 to get the physical out for Xbox and PlayStation because they had so many copies and stuff.
I forgot about that. So Best Buy had their physical copies clearanced out for $10.
Yeah.
And they had the free upgrades to the next console version. So like essentially you got it for $10, which was amazing.
Yeah. And so, it had trouble running on PlayStation 1 and not PlayStation 1, PS4 and Xbox. And it took a while for those games to kind of be at a playable state. But when Series X, S, and PlayStation 5 came out, they really went in and brought out a better edition with a free upgrade. So you are getting that better edition on Switch 2, and trust me, the world is filled with a lot of side quests, cool designs. You play the way that you want to play with the combat and everything, and it got a very interesting story. And you still get to hear Keanu Reeves and everything. And so definitely with that DLC, if you haven't played Cyberpunk because of all
for the DLC
craziness,
is by far the best part of this entire package.
Yeah. So, if you haven't played it in the past, this is a great time to play it. And this is why everybody is wondering, like, if Witcher 3 is going to be a Switch 2 edition, if it's going to get an upgrade, because people are willing to buy the upgrade. Witcher 3 on Switch did phenomenal in sales. People were curious. They bought it. They enjoyed it. A lot of people were beating the game. Now to get an upgrade version of this, a Switch 2, and even if it's $5 or $10 for the upgrade, people would pay it. That's how much people trust CD Projekt Red with their games being on the Nintendo platform. So if you want to play a really great kind of another open world game, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. Let's see. My number 4. All right, Ed. It's a don't laugh at me, but it's a roguelike roguelite, I should say. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate.
Nice.
Is my number 4. So to me, like, it feels more like an evolution of the arcade games than the
Mm-hmm.
the oh my gosh. There's a Santa Snoop Dogg outfit in Fortnite. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Sorry, I was like looking at certain things. There's also a Santa Sabrina Carpenter, in case anybody's wondering. It's just like an evolution of the arcade games and kind of upgrading your turtles as you go and finding currency to upgrade your characters in the shop, and some stuff stays and some stuff doesn't. If when you die, like, you kind of go back to your hideout and just kind of do the whole talking and kind of advancing the stories. A lot of people like to compare it to Hades in terms of combat and progression, which is nice, I guess. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. The Casey Jones DLC is fun. The Metalhead DLC just came out, which I haven't played yet, but I have heard is really fun. So check that out. I would recommend it. I think the entire package now, like the Switch 2 Ultimate Edition, is only $30. So, and it's couch co-op. It's up to 4 players, couch co-op. So if you have friends that you want to play with, definitely worth checking out there as well.
Yeah. Did it just get a Switch 2 version?
About a week and a half ago, it did. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's if you own the Switch 1 version as well, the Switch 2 upgrade is $2.49. So
that's not
it's cool.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Nope.
Well, everybody, for my third game, it's going to be Persona 3 Reloaded. We know that Nintendo and Atlas have a great relationship. And Atlas has been on a roll with hit RPGs, and Persona 3 on PlayStation 2 kind of started off making people aware of Atlas. And with this remake, I should say, everybody was wondering if was it ever going to come to Switch, because they, PlayStation and Xbox got it. When Switch 2 got announced, this version got announced also. So it's a great RPG. It's going to take you 100 plus some hours. It is kind of dark with some of the storylines and everything, but it's a beautiful game, turn-based RPG. You'll really love the characters. Great cover. I love that, this blue and black and white like cover, this look and stuff. It has some DLC all to it also. But yeah, it's a must have to Persona 3 Reloaded, and I think it may be on sale also, the digital version for this game. So if you love RPGs, this is a great one to get. It's funny. The voice acting is great. It gets challenging. I will say that it may get challenging. There's social elements, so some of your decisions affect how you get through the story, and affect the gameplay that you that you are playing. And also, you have these cards and stuff to help you, like, these monster cards, help you do certain magic and everything. And it allows you to be like, if you got the right card and the right element, those enemies are weak. But you can also combine those 2 monsters or 3 monsters and come up with a better card and everything. It is so deep and so magical. that you you won't be able to put it down. So if you need another long RPG or you love RPGs, Persona 3 Reloaded is a great one to have.
Nice. Man, I feel like we haven't even touched Nintendo's first party stuff.
We'll touch. I have.
I mean,
Nintendo first.
I have. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, all right. So my next recommendation, Ed, I this is probably on your list somewhere, or was, or whatever, but Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is yes, there's a Switch 1 version of this, but the Switch 2 version is really it's really nice looking. It runs really smooth. It's, you know, it's definitely a great version of the game. I think people will notice that visually it looks kind of out of date visually, but I think everybody needs to remember that this was an Xbox 360 game, right? And so like taking it into that context and some of the small updates that Aspire did to it, and you know, some of especially the frame rate runs at a really smooth 60 frames.
Yeah.
4K, I think, for 1440p, I think on TV. It's definitely, regardless, it's an amazing series, an amazing game, and an amazing series, which, Ed, we'll talk about that article on Nintendo Life at some point, where they might bring the rest of the trilogy over, which is something we've been begging for I don't know how long. Years at this point.
Years.
Because
we've been just like, trying to get the first game on Switch.
Yeah. Because like, as great as this first game is, Rise and Shadow are like the top tier adventure games, right? Like, I think if you think of the evolution of the Uncharted games, right, where like one is like, I get it, it's funny, it's cool, but then Uncharted 2 is like when the game, like the series really, you know, when people think of what Uncharted is, it started with Uncharted 2 essentially.
Yeah.
I think Tomb Raider took the same trajectory essentially, where like, yeah, this game was really great, but like Rise and Shadow are like some amazing games.
Rise is like one of my favorites. Like, it is 2, 3, 1. I mean, like all three are in the sense to me like perfect 10s in a way. Shadow looks stunning. I'm just talking about the Series X version. Goodness, that game looks stunning. But even when it first came out, it was beautiful. So just to get that, if that version comes to Switch to everybody, the whole trilogy, if they drop on Switch, get them. And if they even if they release Shadow at 30 and Rise at 20, or if they did both other games at 20, that's a great deal to snatch all three games up at $20 a piece. Even if they do even a collection for $55 or something, it's a good one to snatch up. And also, everybody, you get all the DLC and outfits and everything in this version. So yeah.
So that's my pick.
Okay.
What was that, number 3 for me?
Yes. So number 4, everybody, for all you fighting fans, of course, Street Fighter 6 is a must to have. It runs smooth. You can create your character. It really is a fun game if you love Street Fighting games. I think there is a arcade joystick for it. I'm not so certain just yet. But it is a really great game. You may be able to get it on sale. I think I got mine for like maybe $30, $20 or $30. I think I got mine for $30 on sale digitally. So there's Capcom loves to do good sales on these games. So if you are big into fighting games, I definitely recommend Street Fighter 4. I mean, Street Fighter 6, Street Fighter 4. And to let everybody know, the Street Fighter collection that has all the arcade games and that is also available that you can play. The only thing is that Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 is not on either system. It's not on Switch 2. So that's the only one that you'll be missing. But Street Fighter 6, yeah, great game to have.
Nice. So I guess my number two, I think, as much as I think 8 is better, I think Mario Kart World is my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a really interesting take on Mario Kart. I think the mechanics are solid. You know, they added the wall jumping and the grinding kind of aspect to the game, the open world stuff. You know, there's little challenges around the open world that you can do in free roam. Driving from track to track is interesting. Kind of, it's part of the race, but also getting to the next track is also part of the race, and it's like kind of an interesting take on that. I know they just updated it to change some of the courses, actually, to how you get to different courses, but yeah, Mario Kart World, a lot of costumes to collect, which is a nice feature, right? Like we were talking about that when Mario Kart Tour, obviously Mario Kart Tour adds those types of costumes to events and stuff during the year. And I was wondering if Mario Kart World would do that at some point. Like, are there going to be Santa outfits on Christmas Day? Right? Like, they have yet to do that. But I would imagine that type of stuff will start coming with DLC, right? Like, they data mined that Donkey Kong Bonanza stuff, right? Which the reason why it's not on my list is I just assumed it was on yours.
For Donkey Kong,
yeah.
No, it's not on my list.
But
I will say Donkey Kong and Mario Kart is not on my list because I think those are games that's like automatically expected to be on everybody's list.
Yeah,
you know, with the popularity of both games and Donkey Kong Bonanza being 10s and getting a Game of the Year nominations, and I bet you people probably seen Game of the Year for Donkey Kong at the Game Awards. So I just made the assumption that people probably already know about these two games are must have for any Switch 2 player.
Yeah, I just I know some people look at that $80 price tag on Mario Kart World and kind of might get scared away from that. But also, if you buy the bundle, you get the $30 discount on Mario Kart. So it's gonna go. I mean, obviously, it's Mario Kart. People are gonna buy it, right? It's Mario Kart. But
yeah,
I think it's worth mentioning that it is, and as much as I think 8 is better in terms of my taste in Mario Kart, I do think Mario Kart World does a lot of interesting things, and it does enough, I think, to warrant that, extra couple dollars. But also, you can still play Mario Kart 8 on the Switch 2.
Yeah. But it helped that the sales has jumped up for that game. So
yeah, I also think I really liked collecting the costumes, although I wish there was a little bit more. You just go to the little fast food places to get them, right? You don't have to complete challenges to get them. I wish there were some challenges that you could do to unlock some of these costumes, but at the end of the day, there's for most of the characters, there's anywhere between 3 and 7 or 8 costumes, right? So
yeah,
I think that's definitely worth doing. But yeah, Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart World is a really fun game. Definitely worth checking out.
Yes. Well, everybody, my number one is, and I don't know if this is your number one too, Corey, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment.
Yeah, it's definitely my number one. Also, I think this game it's my favorite game on Switch 2 right now.
Yeah, same.
By far.
I once you start this game, you're not gonna want to put it down. Like even after you get the tutorials and everything, and you
Hmm.
do some of the side quests, the story is so engaging. The fighting is, being at 60 frames per second. There's so many characters in this game, and they all feel good to play. There's nothing wrong like smacking these goblins down and
Hmm.
everything, and fighting these other big bosses and stuff. Like you really will be engrossed in this game. The stages look beautiful. And you could probably get through a level 5 to 6 minutes, depending on how you play. It's easy to switch characters around. There's so much to do outside of the main story quest.
Hmm.
Trust me, when I tell you there's a lot to do, there is a lot to do to get you new characters, get you new weapons and everything. They have a different style of gameplay. So if you play something like Star Fox, you got levels like that, like flying levels, which is really, really fun. Like
Yeah,
Kobe
those
Tecmo
flying
in
levels are
Nintendo.
wild.
So good though. So there is a lot, and like I said, this is a Switch 2 exclusive. And you really won't get bored of it. You could do 2 or 3 levels of the main quest, or if you want to get powerful, you could do the side stuff and then put it down. Like it, you manage your time with the game if you want to, but it's just so engaging, and I just love this game.
Yeah.
So I do recommend Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Clair Obscure Expedition 33 didn't come out this year, it probably would have
Mhm.
been my game of the year, honestly. But Expedition 33 is incredible. So but yeah, I mean that's my number one. I think it is worth noting that like I don't know if you need to finish Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, but I think you should familiarize yourself with at least the lore of this version of Zelda, right? Like
Yes.
like at least I think you need to at least know the major players, obviously Zelda and Link, but also maybe like this version of Ganon, who the Zonai are. And like this game does a good job of kind of getting you up to speed, but I do think it is worth playing the other games. Obviously, maybe not all the way, although that does help. But I think knowing that this universe and this world, and at least knowing kind of the tiny story elements at the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
Because this takes place. The events of this game take place after the first probably half hour of Tears of the Kingdom, I would say.
Yeah.
So I would at least I don't want to say just play the first 10 minutes or the first half hour of Tears of the Kingdom and then jump into this, but it does take place right after that when Zelda falls and kind of, spoilers, goes back in time to kind of figure out, how to stop Ganon. And so like that's where the story picks up. But it's really interesting.
Yeah.
I love the characters. I love the different fighting styles. I love how you can like beat a level in like 5 or 6 minutes and feel like you accomplished something and you get
Yes.
different, either different new abilities, or you can upgrade some of the camps around, or you can train your characters to level up faster, right? Like it's really cool. It's I really like how they took the elements of Zelda and put it into this Muso game, which
Yeah.
when you say Muso game, people kind of like shudder or maybe don't even know what it is. So like
Yes.
basically what it is, it's like you go into these battles and you literally are killing hundreds of enemies within 5 or 6 minutes, right? Sometimes 1,000 or more enemies within a level, right?
And you get achievements in that game for that.
Yeah. So it's really cool. There's these things called aside missions, which are different kind of goals that you can do to kind of gain abilities, gain different inventory, like uh, not inventory slots. The resources. Jeez, words are hard. And so yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's really fun. It's a game that has a great story, but also while you're playing it, you can kind of turn your brain off and almost button mash your way through, and it just feels so fun. Like, I wouldn't even play it on like the hardest difficulty either. I would honestly play it on easy, and it's just like so fun to just button mash and play your way through the story. It's so fun.
Yeah, I played it on normal and got a little bit challenging at the end, but I was able to handle it.
Yeah,
so it's so fun.
I have 7 characters over level 90 now, Ed, including 2 level 100s in Zelda and Rauru.
So Rauru,
he's so OP, dude. Rauru is so OP, dude.
But you know what? It makes sense because he's the king.
So yeah, but like when you start the game, right? Like Zelda's like a level 3, and I think you have Sonya doesn't really help you, but like those first couple characters you get are like level 3, 4, 5, and Raru's like a level 12. And it's like, oh my gosh. But anyways, yeah, I highly recommend Hyrule Warriors. It's an amazing experience. I know it's not a traditional Zelda game, which some people kind of don't like at some point, but like also it is so much fun. It's seriously some of the most fun I've had this year playing video games.
I definitely would recommend everybody just get the whole collection. Age of Calamity, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Age of Imprisonment, because those 4 games all fit together.
Yeah, I mean, even the original Hyrule Warriors to an extent, right? Because like Hyrule Warriors is like its own kind of multiverse game, right? Essentially, where it kind of brings all the Zelda universes together, timelines together. And like Age of Calamity uses the Breath of the Wild characters to tell the story, right? But it's essentially a sequel to Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition while tying it into Breath of the Wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a true kind of in universe story, right?
Yes.
You're not playing as like, Midna and all these other characters from the other games, right? So anyways,
dude, if they bring Hyrule Warriors and give it a Switch 2 edition, I'm snatching it.
I feel like I don't want to say they will definitively, but like I feel like those games, just the way they play, at least deserve like that free upgrade patch for like 60 frames or whatever, which I don't know if they do or not. I haven't played either of them on the Switch 2 yet. I would imagine they don't. They just run steadily at 30, which is what I think they ran on the Switch 1.
Switch 1 it was 30. I think it was 60 on Wii U. Because man,
because it was 60 on Wii U, but if you play struggling 60, I think, but like then on the gamepad it was like sub 30 or something. People hated it.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Anyways, I guess not really that important, but also like they're great. They're great. Kind of turn your brain off and play games.
Yes. Well, Corey, I do have some just additional ones.
I have a couple honorable mentions too. So,
Nosti for Konami Date from AI to Summonia Files, Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scission, and then Kirby Air Riders. I do recommend those games.
Yeah. I would. Let's see. I would. Obviously, if you have kids or you're into shooters or whatever, you're going to download Fortnite. So I don't think I need to recommend that. But, Fortnite has become this giant platform of different games and stuff within it now. So, like, definitely that. I would say Hogwarts Legacy is worth it. I think that game is just a really great you know, if you're into Harry Potter, that game is going to be like a master class for you, essentially. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think, is a given, which is why neither of us had it on our list. I would just assume everybody's going to get Donkey Kong at some point.
And Pokemon Legends ZA, I didn't put on because I think people are going to get that one too.
Yeah. Let's see. I would. I mean, if you're in a fighting game, Street Fighter 6 is a really great game. On Switch 2, like it's definitely like on par with the other versions. And Plants vs Zombies. Plants vs Zombies is a great puzzle game. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you've never played it and you're like a puzzle fan or like a tower defense fan. It's just really quirky and fun and dumb and funny, and I love that game so much.
It just boggles my mind that it took so long for it to get on the console. Why was this game on the DS but not on the consoles?
It was on Xbox 360. It's backwards compatible on Xbox.
No, I'm talking about for Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah, they only did the DS version, and then everybody was wondering when they go and bring it to console.
You know what?
I didn't do it.
Speaking of mobile games that are not on console, but kind of are, but kind of aren't. Where's my Angry Birds trilogy, man? I would love to see Angry Birds on Switch or Switch. You know, I really love Angry Birds. I think that game is it's stupidly fun, but I don't know. I wish it would come to something soon outside of phones, which I get. That's where they make most of their money, but like, you could sell it on the eShop for $20, man, and make a ton of money. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
Whatever.
Because it could be, I'm like, you could still play it like a touchscreen game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could. And then my kind of last recommendation is Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I think it's definitely an amazing co-op experience. If you played Shredder's Revenge, which was the Ninja Turtles game that came out a couple years ago, it's the same developer, except with Marvel characters. You choose 2 characters at a time and kind of have this tag-in system, you know, and you can kind of perform your own combos with tagging characters in. It kind of takes that Marvel vs. Capcom combo tag system and brings it into a brawler, essentially, which is nice. It's really cool. It's got a lot of weird characters in it, along with obviously characters that people love, right? You know, it has Wolverine and Captain America and Iron Man, but it also has Beta Ray Bill and Nova, you know, and like these, you know, some off the wall characters. And then you kind of unlock more as you go. She-Hulk is in it. And also this game is primed for DLC characters, right? Like,
yeah,
I think there's 14 characters in this game, but like no Hulk, no Thor, the only Guardians of the Galaxy character is Rocket. You know, there's like, you could just go down the roster of MCU characters and be like, oh, this character would fit in here easily, you know.
I'm so mad that Guardians of the Galaxy would never get a Switch 2 version.
I know. By the way, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, did you see Disney Plus changed all the music in Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, because their license expired for the for the music?
No.
Yeah, it's like all generic music now.
Is it the first movie?
Yeah.
So anyone who has it on Blu-ray or DVD has the original version now.
Yeah. But yeah, that was like a big thing a couple weeks ago of like Guardians of the Galaxy changed the music.
Wow.
Also, I want to throw there's like the 2 kind of smaller games Nintendo put out, Dragon Drive, which is like the wheelchair basketball game.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. It's like what was it, like $10 download? Like, I think they're interesting enough. I think Welcome Tour is more than people give it credit for. Again, probably should have still been a pack-in game for this, but also it's $10. You know what I mean? Like if you're spending this much money on a console and you don't understand what features it has, like I think it's a nice little way to see these features in action, literally.
Yeah.
Right. Like
and I like that Nintendo breaks down just like terms like 4K and HDR and what it does, so people just
and like shows the difference between the different frame rates also, right? Like I think it does like 20 frames a second, 30 frames a second, 60 and 120, you know.
And like just in case people even got other consoles and they hear those words, like Nintendo breaks it down to help people understand it in a sense, in the general way.
Yeah. So it's a nice little thing to have. I don't know. You can look at it and see it if you want, but it is an interesting package. And then if you want like a F-Zero style racing game, Fast Fusion, I think is an easy pickup for $20. Right. So, Ed, did you freeze? Are you frozen?
No, I'm here.
Oh, usually you have something to comment on Fast Fusion. So,
yes, I would say this one. I kept thinking it was the Switch version that it got an upgrade, but it's a different name.
Yeah,
stuff. I think this is a brand new one for the system.
Yeah. So the first game was Fast Racing Neo, which was on the Wii U, right? And then Fast RMX was like, RMX stands for remix, so it was like a remixed version. So some of it was new, some of it was from that Wii U version, and this is just the brand new game.
Yes.
Both are playable on Switch 2, by the way.
So yes. Also, everybody, I got a name because this one wore Pipistrello and the Curse Yo-Yo. That came out this year. It don't have a Switch 2 version, but if you looking for a top-down Game Boy style adventure Zelda-like game, this is definitely one to get. It's funny, it's challenging. I know they just did the Indie Game Award, and this one won one of the awards. So I do recommend you guys trying it, and I think it's on sale right now by the time you guys see this.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where we're at. If you're a sports fan, obviously, FC or EA Sports Football Club 26 is on here. NBA 2K is on here. Madden's on here. So those are kind of like the major sports games on here. I imagine the show will hit in the spring.
Yeah, WWE's on there. So
yeah, I forgot WWE's on here. So yeah, I mean there's a lot of stuff on here. You can check it out. Check out the eShop also for if you want third party stuff, right? Yakuza, Tony Hawk, that's all on here. Hitman.
I forgot there was the Yakuza Direct today, and I gotta watch it.
Yeah, so and a lot of the games that have like their ports essentially right to the Switch 2, they're kind of older games. Like the Yakuza games are $30. They're not full price games. Kinetsugami from Capcom is a really interesting game. I think deserves more love.
Yes.
I mean, I know I'm pulling an Ed here and just naming games now, but
I know. Corey, before we go on, NSO, everybody, if you got NSO and you got the expansion, you get GameCube added to this.
Yeah.
It's one payment per year, or they explain the membership thing. You still got vouchers on the Switch 2. There's a camera add-on that you guys could look into, a Pro controller, and there's more stuff. But I cannot express that if you don't have NSO expansion, get it now, because we got Retro Boy coming soon. But GameCube games, if you guys want to play the US and the European version, it got Wind Waker on there. And then there's even more that's coming on. You kind of, I would say they split the Nintendo 64, everybody, because they got Nintendo 64 and then Nintendo 64 Mature.
It's so stupid.
It's wacky, but you got you have a lot of content, and you know, you got the Sega Genesis, and hopefully Sega put it on Saturn and Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah.
If they want to do Sega CD, I'm all up for that too.
I think it's worth noting too that the controllers are all available on Nintendo's website, and you have to be an NSO member to get those classic controllers. So, like, you know, the NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, N64, and GameCube controllers are all available. And it's also worth noting that they did bump the GameCube controller limit up to 2 now instead of 1. So you can buy a second GameCube controller. I'm thinking about buying it, another one. So also it's worth noting that the GameCube controller works on Smash Brothers. Just saying, if you are a Smash purist,
that's the way to go. And like you mentioned earlier, Corey,
well, if you're a Smash purist, you probably own the Switch adapter and a 25-year-old controller in your sock drawer or whatever.
Like we did mention, if you are an NSO Expansion member, you do get the upgrades for free for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. If you got Mario Kart 8, you get all the DLC for free, along with the Animal Crossing. I don't know about the new Animal Crossing
and Breath of the Wild. You get the Breath of the Wild DLC also.
Oh, and yes, so that's a good thing to have. Trust me. There's so many guys. And just last thing about NSO, everybody, which is a benefit over Xbox and PlayStation. No disrespect to their systems and stuff. You get Japanese games that never been released in America. So you get that's a good bonus for a series that you may have never heard of, that, or even if you did hear it, that never released in America, you get a chance to play. So right now, you get a chance to play both Earthbound games, Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound on Super Nintendo. If they release Earthbound 3 for a Game Boy Advance,
here we go. Ed's tired. It's time to wrap it up. Delusional.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, and Game Boy Advance, everybody, Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission must plays. Trust me. Yeah. For all the NSO games, there's a lot of series from the past that's on there. So you pretty much got most of the Mario games and most of the Metroid games. Mario Paint, you could use the mouse on it. So
yeah,
it's a good benefit.
Yeah, I think it's there's new stuff coming out all the time, and if you're finding expansion pass or Nintendo Pow Block or whatever right now, it's worth noting that we do update during the week, every show of what's coming to NSO and Nintendo Music also, which is something we didn't talk about. So yeah. We like to try to keep that up to date.
Yes. So I think that's going to be it, Corey. We gave a lot of recommendations. There's a lot of games that you guys can check out. Check some websites for physical copies, or if you want the digital copy, you could check the eShop. A lot of sales going on, like Corey mentioned. There's a big holiday sale going on. That you guys could check out. Like, there's a lot. The games that we recommend, guys, is because not only are we passionate about those, they're fun to play. Definitely on the on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, mostly Nintendo Switch 2. So, anything else, Corey, before we head out?
Not really. I just, I think, man, I know a lot of people like to give NSO like a really bad rap for some reason, but I think NSO is an amazing deal. And I think that the Switch 2 is an amazing console, and it's relatively, I know $400 is a lot, or $450 is a lot of money, right? But I think relatively affordable. There's a lot of great games on there. There's a lot of free games on there if you have NSO, right? Like, Tetris 99 and F-Zero 99 and the classics catalog, and these upgrades for free to some of these games that you may already own on Switch 1. And I don't know, man. I think the Switch 2 is exactly what Nintendo needed. I think it's what fans wanted. I think third-party support is becoming more and more apparent on this thing. And I just think it's a really great device. I highly recommend it. Obviously, we've been doing this show for a long time, and it's taken us, this. We did do the Wii U era for a little bit, which was probably equivalent to a lot of PlayStation podcasts, PS3 era. But we're here now, and I think the Switch 2 has a lot to offer, and hopefully you all enjoyed this episode and kind of took what we said to make your purchasing decisions.
Yes.
And if you're new to the show, welcome. Subscribe, share, rate, and review wherever you listen. Got to put the plug in there, right?
Yes.
No, but seriously, oh yeah, I forgot that Game Boy Advance was on here too, right? Like, there's so many. Gosh, Minish Cap. I'm going through the NSO stuff right now just to see, I mean, Golden Sun, Fire Emblem, Minish Cap, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. You already brought up Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission. Mm-hmm. The best version of Mario 2, which is the Super Mario Advance version.
Everybody has Game Boy also, which has the original and the color editions in those.
Yeah. So I think that's worth. And then obviously, if you're an NES fan, there's 75 NES games on this thing at this point.
And it's still growing.
Oh my gosh, dude! I just updated these like a week ago, and they all have updates. And obviously, like, the classic controllers feel right at home on this thing. I love the classic controllers on here. Dude, there are so many NES games. I know a lot of them are those special editions, right? Like the special whatevers, but man, dude, I gotta tell you, there are some great games on here, and I hope everybody checks this out. Don't listen to the internet. NSO is, it's right up there with Game Pass in my opinion in terms of the best deal in gaming. In my opinion, it's $50 a year, and you get 300 plus classic games from 7 different consoles, 8 now with Virtual Boy coming out, which I know is only a library of 14 games or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's great. Come on, where else are you going to play Twin B, Ed?
Again, only NSO because it never came to America.
That's right. You heard it here first.
Not like I said, Sega, I need you to drop that Dreamcast, and I need you to drop that Saturn.
Dude, Dreamcast, man. That's. Anyways,
you already know that's the 8th episode of Expansion Pass on Dreamcast. The moment if they announce it and it drops, we're doing Expansion Pass for it. Like, we have no choice but to do.
I'm just saying, man. Like, that's a given, I feel. But anyways, I don't even know what else to say anymore. I just I don't know. I essentially just like hanging out with Ed and talking about this garbage, which is why these episodes are like 10 times longer than they probably should be. But it's fine. Nobody knows.
We're just prolonging it, everybody. That's how excited. So everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. To those, if you're watching of this episode's out on Christmas, if it's after, hope you did have a great Christmas. If you guys are shopping, check out this episode. And to get some ideas about games that you're looking for. We recommend a lot of them for you guys to play. And make sure that if you're not an NSO member, definitely get an NSO expansion pass. It's $50 a year. You get like a lot of consoles, not only Nintendo, but the Sega Genesis, which has some phenomenal games on it. One of my favorites, Streets of Rage 2, is on there. So you guys get to check that game out. You'll understand why the music is a banger still to that very day. With that, everybody, we'll see you next time, maybe on Nintendo Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.